girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I like the girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done.
Good morning, guys. Welcome back. Happy Monday. Morning, guys. Welcome back to the live stream. Holiday week. Short week. Morning, Marvin. Independence Day, July 4th. What are our plans for the 4th? What are our plans for the 4th of July? Some fireworks, some Roman candle fights. Morning, Margin. Buenos dias. Hope you guys had a good weekend. Relaxing weekend for me. Great race. If you guys watched the F1 race this weekend, great race. Crazy stuff going on. Crazy to see Lando up there with Max. Finally, some competition. Spent 3 days at the beach. Nice. Very nice. Holding Tesla swing trade. All right. Yeah, Tesla. Nice hold. Beach day, then fireworks. Love it. Morning, everyone. Morning. For some, it might be their last time with 10 fingers. That's true. That's true, GolfNet. Press the like button. That's right, Byron. So, short week, guys, just so you're aware. We'll pull up the market holidays here real quick, just so you guys are aware of the week, and we'll sort of outline when I'll actually have a live stream for you. Thursday, no live stream. Thursday, market is closed, guys. So right here, market is closed on Thursday, which is pretty awesome. Get to enjoy that 4th of July. Full day off. Love that. And so, yeah, Thursday this week, guys, market is closed. So make sure you know that. And then also, this little asterisk over here, this little asterisk on July 4th, means that on July 3rd, the market closes early. So down here, I know it's really fine print, but market will close early on Wednesday. So 1 p.m. on Wednesday, market is going to close. So we have a short day on Wednesday, and we have a off day on Thursday. Friday, we will have the market open. I'm going to assume it is going to be a terrible, terrible volume and probably a good day to just not even show up. I'll show up, guys. I'll be here on Friday just to go through it, right? Go through the actions, make sure I'm watching the market, make sure I'm staying in tune with everything. Will I be in a rush to trade on that Friday? Probably not. So really, the prime time opportunities is today and tomorrow. Today and tomorrow, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, probably a little bit of a strange 3 days of trading. Obviously, Thursday being closed, so you can't trade. I'm assuming the futures will be open. So for you guys that can't step away from the market, the futures will likely trade on Thursday, I believe. I'm not 100% certain, but I'm pretty sure they will. So if you have to trade, if you want to trade, Thursday futures will still be open in my assumption. Possibly. Fact check me there if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that will be. That's about it. So in that regard, just make sure you know that, guys. Monday and Tuesday, today, tomorrow are the only two really full days. Friday as well, but it's coming off a market holiday, so something that I probably won't be too interested in. And hey, you never know, right? Today and tomorrow could also be sort of lackluster, as maybe there's overall just this entire week being a little bit slow. So something to understand coming into this week. All right. Next thing to cover is the economic calendar. Economic calendar here. So we'll go ahead and pull that up. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either, Matt. I wouldn't be surprised either. Nice time to sort of take the foot off the gas, guys. A nice opportunity. There were some nice opportunities last week. Good week to sort of take the foot off the gas just a little bit. Just understanding some of the possibly lower volume. We shall see, obviously, and react to that intraday. But today, economic calendar, you guys can see it right here. 10 o'clock, ISM manufacturing PMI, 9:45, final manufacturing PMI. So 9:45, 10 o'clock, we should be a little bit careful today. We have all of that economic data 15 to 30 minutes after market open. So let's just be a little bit cautious there. We always have been cautious of these sort of 15-minute, 30-minute after market economic events. Definitely can cause some volatility, so let's continue to do that. Let's know that if we're in a trade early morning, that we have some of that data coming out 15 to 30 minutes after the market is open. All right, so know that. Tomorrow, 9:30, I guess right at open, Jerome Powell is speaking. I'm not sure at what conference he is speaking, but it seems like he is speaking somewhere. So 9:30 tomorrow, guys, you actually do have Powell speaking. 10 o'clock, you have JOLTS, and that's tomorrow's economic data. So if you're going to swing trade something from today into tomorrow, just know that you're going to be smacked by some volatility, possibly early morning by Powell speaking, and then 10 o'clock, you have the JOLTS. So just understand that. Wednesday, market closes early, closes at 1 o'clock p.m., 1 p.m. Eastern. So you do have some stuff in the morning. You got the ADP, you got the unemployment. I think looks like they pushed this unemployment claims to Wednesday, right? Because typically this unemployment claims right here is on Thursday. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, Thursday the market is closed. Interesting, because you have FOMC minutes on Wednesday, which is after the market is closed. So that's sort of strange. FOMC minutes on Wednesday after the market is closed, which is a little bizarre. So sort of strange there, I'd say. Thursday, market is closed. And then Friday, you have your average hourly earnings, non-farm employment, and unemployment rate. So a little bit of a bizarre week here. Some heavy things on the calendar, but sort of strange because you have this after the close, right? You have Jerome Powell speaking at open. Sort of bizarre in some of those cases. It doesn't feel like a week I'd be swing trading, guys. Let me put it that way. This is a recipe for disaster for swing trades. It's a holiday weekend, low volume. You have Jerome Powell speaking. You have FOMC minutes. You have a market holiday on Thursday. You have a early close on Wednesday. So a lot of sort of bizarre things going on in the market this week. Sort of an anomaly week in a way. So just be aware of that, guys. Be aware of all these things going on. It's very important to just have a general understanding of what's going on, broad, higher level on the market. So that's that. Any earnings this week? I don't believe so. And if there is, I don't care. No, there is no earnings. There's a few. What the hell does that say? Nothing I care about. All right. So let's get right into the charts. If you guys enjoyed, the video yesterday, if you did not watch it, I'd appreciate if you stay tuned to those technical analysis videos. I went ahead and I made that on Sunday night to try to prepare some of you guys, because I know a lot of you guys maybe can't join the live stream. So a good way to prepare your Sunday night. If you guys enjoyed it, I appreciate any support on that video. Press that like button on the live stream as well. Some early likes here. And yeah, let's get started. So, what a day on Friday. What a day on Friday. Friday, we saw the most perfect level rejection. Right at our 20,270. So we had the morning upside. We talked about that morning upside over that 20,085. We had that hold above 20,085, which definitely caused that morning upside and that continuation move over the 160 and up into that double top supply, which was extremely clear. And there's absolutely no reason to not be aware of that level, right? That was an extremely clear level that we've had on our charts all last week, 20,270, and what a beautiful fade that was on Friday. Now, I would have liked to see, right, to stay bullish and to hold my swing trades, because you guys know I was talking about holding my Nvidia swing trades, being long Nvidia, right? A lot of things that, I wanted to see certain things on the market to maintain that position. Now, it was right around 12 o'clock is when I just went full cash on my portfolio, because there was some very important breaks under, right, back below, and I did not like that to hold longs over the weekend. I would have wanted to see at the very minimum a hold back above that 20,085, even on the pullback, right? I would have wanted to see the market hold over those highs, right? We had very clear highs at this 20,085, and I would have wanted to see the market at least try to maintain that after the pullback that came in. It did not. It turned actually into a perfect intraday rejection, and after seeing that, I said, nope, right? I have to react here, right? This is called trading, okay? And it's called reacting to what the market is showing you. The plan we make in the morning is a good plan to go into the day with and to follow, and you have to understand if that plan becomes invalidated, you have to react. We are not set in stone. If you are set in stone as a trader, if you can't adjust to what you're seeing, it's not going to work out. All right, so I wanted to be long over the weekend if the market maintained over 20,085, because that is a very structured hold back above this channel high. Nice hold above this triple top, see a hold above 20,085, and see if that continuation can come in. Unfortunately, that did not happen, right? And we can see right here on the 5-minute chart, it was a perfect 20,085 flip right on the intraday. Right here was the key inflection point of the day, right? So we had our upside move right into that supply, right into that 2270. We came back down to that 20,085. We attempted to hold it, but we did not, right? We attempted to hold it. We ultimately failed and turned it into a triple top rejection. Our 20,085 turning from an attempted hold to a triple top rejection on the intraday. And after seeing this right here, I said to the group, I'm out, right? I'm cash. So right here, you can see, closed it all up right down here. I'll go ahead and zoom in. Closed it all up, full cash. Did not like the break under 55.52. Did not like the break under 20,085. I am not holding anything over the weekend. So I had to react to that, right? As much as I wanted to see Nvidia continue higher, and it did give us a little bit of upside on Friday, but man, this flip right here was very important, and we can see that we are right back within the channel that has been trading for the last week and a half. And now the concerning part, at least for us as short-term traders and wanting continuation, is that guess what, right? We are right back in this channel. we are right back in this channel on a short week, on a holiday week. What are the likelihoods? If we could put some betting odds on the market staying within this again to close this week, it might be pretty high, right? It might be pretty high to see the market just do the dance again through this holiday week, through low volume, and we might just get more of the same that we saw all right here, right? We had a lot of chop in between the zone, couple breakdowns and pushes back higher, right back in the zone. We tried it again here, came back lower, right? You can see the market has attempted to continue above and below this zone, right? There was an attempt lower here. It got back up. There was an attempt higher here, went back down, right? Everything is reverting back to this mean. The reversion to the mean, right? We continue to see it. And the mean is this channel. And so we're going to have to head into today with that mindset of looking for 19,900 longs, looking for shorts off 20,085, and just trading the channel and not looking for strong continuation. All right, if you're going to trade today, you got to come into the day with that same mindset you had while we were trading in this channel. Longs off the lows, shorts off the supply highs, scalping moves, take profits up 10, 15, 20%. Do not hold too long, right? Don't long 19,900 looking for new all-time highs. If you long 19,900, you're only looking for longs into 2085. If you're shorting 2085, you're only looking for shorts into 19,900, right? And so this is the mindset that, you got to stay in for now until we get something clear and maintain above one of these levels. You tried, you failed, and you moved back under. So really nothing changes, right? Nothing changes. You got to hold 19.9. And if you do hold 19.9, you can trade up to the 20,085. If you break under 19.9, you trade back lower into the 19,750. And that is possibly where the market wants to trade to if this weakness does continue, right? The market may want to, the NASDAQ futures may want to retrace back down to that daily 20 SMA, which you can see is right here at that 19,750. So that only happens if we break under 19.9. If we break under 19.9, that's where I would look for that downside to come in, right? That's where I would look for that downside to come in. If we break under 19.9, that's where we could potentially see that catalyst for more downside down towards these demand lows at 19,750 and that daily 20 SMA. Very clear supplies above. If we get upside today, guys, make sure you're watching 2085. Make sure you're watching 20,160. And, of course, make sure you're watching 20,270 if we do get some upside on this market. So very clear levels here. We're sort of just trading in between them, react to them. That's what you do, right? That's how we make our money. You react to the levels. So QQQ, extremely clear rejection as well. On Friday, we talked about that 487 high, 1, 2, double top high. Bam, right at that level. Perfect rejection, very predictable, right? We saw that failure come in, 487, exact previous highs, not out of the ordinary at all. We saw that downside come in. Now, what you wanted to see, like we talked about on the NASDAQ, if you wanted to see upside continue to stay in, is you needed to see a hold over 483, right? You needed to maintain above those highs, maintain above those last week highs, turn that high into a new low and see if this could continue higher. Sort of stay on this uptrending move, right? Sort of stay on this uptrending move, see this sort of continuation. We did not get it, right? We failed below, and that was the thing that sort of caused some weakness on this market. All right, we got back under 483. We got back under the channel highs, and you can see when we dropped under that 483, guys, on Friday, look at the flip that happened. We tried to hold 483. We turned it into a triple top rejection. That hold level turning into rejections, a very clear flip there on Friday at 483 on the QQQ. So where are we? We're right back in the channel. We're right back between 483 and the 478. Right, same exact channel we've been trading in. We're right back between it. You look for the longs off 478. You look for the shorts off 483. You play the channel if you want to. If you break under 483. If you break under 478, that is the breakdown into 474. Okay, so if we do break this low at some point this week at 478, that is potentially the move down into 474. Okay, if we zoom out a little bit, I'm going to show you that CPI move on Wednesday back here. This is something that I would continue to understand that's still on the market. So Wednesday, this was a CPI pre-market upside move right here. We had this in the pre-market. CPI, this was Wednesday, June 12th. We had a straight-up move from 469 to 474. Now, if we continue to see weakness come in on this market, let's say we break under 478, we trade down into 474. If we break under 474, guys, you do have to be a little bit cautious of that gap that is still on this QQQ chart from that CPI move. So a little bit of caution there. Make sure you understand that that's still sitting there. But before you can even think about trading that, you do have to still watch these demand lows. 478, 474 to the upside, 480.43, 484.30, and that 487 rejection that came in on Friday. Okay. ES, same spot, right? Same spot. We got our push on Friday. We got our push right off that 55.52, 55.60. We got our push right off that level, pushing higher off that level, right into the all-time high, right? Right into that 55.88. And look at how beautiful that rejection came in. If you go to the 5-minute chart, I mean, literally, the second we tapped that supply, and you just saw that weakness come in the rest of the day, right? Perfect level there on the ES, very clear rejection. You can see early morning, we held that demand zone, pushed higher into the rejection spot. Rejection spot caused the move back into the demand zone. The demand zone failed, right? And look at how that zone went from a support, right? A support, an attempted support, into an intraday rejection. Beautiful flip right there on the futures, on the ES on Friday. Very telling, and that is exactly where I exited my longs on Friday, right? Again, using that market to sort of guide my decisions. I did not like the break back below 55.52, right? That was key. It was very key. And that was where I said, nope, I am no longer going to hold these longs. I would have liked to see, right, at the very minimum, I would have liked to see these previous highs turning into new lows, right? That's what you want to see to stay long. You want to see previous rejection points, which was very clearly at 55.52. We want to see that we want to see that turn into new lows and see that continuation. We did not do that. We failed right back below it, and we saw the rejection because of it. So that was very key on Friday, something to make sure you continue to understand. And where did we move down into? We moved right down into the lows that have been set all last week, 55.10, 55.18. So where are we? We're right in the same spot, man. Nothing has changed. We are sitting in the exact same channel, right? Right between the 55.60, 55.52, right between the 55.10, 55.18, and more of the same, right? Longs off these lows, shorts off these highs until something really breaks and holds. If you break under the 55.10, that's where I think you can continue this move lower. If you break under this 55.10, right, then you move back lower, possibly into the 54.90 or the 54.80. 54.90 is the daily 20 SMA, which is possibly where that ES needs to come back down into. SPY, same analysis. You can see we are right back between the 546.50, 547, and the demand lows at 543.50, 542.50. So same exact analysis, same exact sideways action, same exact thesis across the board. Need to break out of these channels. If we do not, more of the scalping mentality, shorts off the supply highs, longs off the demand lows, right? Make sure you're watching these key levels and reacting to what they're doing. If we do break below that 542.50, that's probably the move down into that 20 SMA, right? 20 SMA at 540 on the SPY ETF. If you do break below this low, right, this last week low, if you break below this 542.50, that's probably your move into 540. Okay? But for now, you can't trade that because if you're shorting with that thesis, you're just shorting right into demand, which could just continue to hold this market higher. Okay? All right. RTY maintained not bad at that 20,060 actually. I didn't even see this. I didn't even read the Russell yet. But yeah, look at this, right? Russell, previous high, previous high, previous high. This is what you needed to see the ES do. Right? This is exactly what you needed to see the ES do on the pullback. We pulled back. We held above previous channel highs, right? Look at how the Russell held above those highs, turned it into support on Friday afternoon. That is where the ES, instead of the ES holding that and pushing higher, the ES did this, right, and moved back down to here. That is the difference that you're seeing right there in the Russell. The Russell had those highs and held above them Friday after the rejection. The ES, right, the ES had those highs, came back down into them, did not push back higher, actually failed back below, right? So, I mean, Russell's just doing a little bit of catch-up. I mean, the ES and NASDAQ are clearly much stronger than the Russell has been, but the Russell, a little interesting there to spot, a little bit of outperformance, a nice hold above those channel highs at 2060 and the daily 20 SMA. Dow Jones tried to push higher through that 39.7, failed it, moved right back down to the demand lows at 39.3. Look at how the levels are staying intact, right? The levels staying intact, rejections at supply highs, holds at demand lows, and you are right back within that channel. All right, I'm going to take a sip of water. If we could press the like button, that would be fantastic. Press the like button. So my power went out this weekend, and I did not. The power went out. It flickered on and off. Right, it went on. It flickered off. Came right back on. I didn't think anything of it. I figured, hey, all right, we're back up. We're live. And little did I know that my breaker for my refrigerator stayed off. Everything turned back on besides the breaker for my refrigerator. And I wake up this morning and I go to my refrigerator and there's water everywhere because the entire ice bucket is melted and everything in my refrigerator is now bad. So that's fun. That's what I'll be dealing with after I trade today. Gonna have to throw everything out in my refrigerator. The only thing that decided not to come back on after my power went out. So that sucks. There's a little story time for you. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Got to get to 100K subs, guys. We're definitely not on the pace. I'll tell you that. All right, let's continue. Tesla. Tesla. Strong. It's staying a little bit strong. So let's go ahead and review this chart. All right, let's review this chart. Short the fridge. Short it. Short it. All right. So Tesla on a nice little stair step, right? Not a bad little stair step, and looks pretty strong, right? You can see right here, we have a previous high, previous high, previous high, right? We had that very clear triple top high at that 189. We got above it and we sort of squeezed. Now we haven't pulled back to it, right? We have not pulled back to it, which is important to understand, right? We have since the breakout of 189, we have not seen the retest long, right? That still has not happened. So it's still slightly concerning, right? Because at some point, I do believe Tesla will need to come back down and retest that 189 level at some point. I don't know when, but that is something I would be wanting to see to really trust that this upside is strong. Right, because this is a straight up move, and you guys know what I say about those straight up moves. Eventually, straight up moves get tested straight back down. So a little bit concerning on that, but for now, maintaining above key levels. So right now, you can see for the short term, we have a very clear level that's established itself, or I believe around this 194. So 194 held on that Wednesday, 194 held on Thursday, and on the pullback, we held above 194. So the pullback on Tesla on Friday did not break any kind of, major structure. We're still above the 189. We're still above the 194. And so we're still sort of structuring higher on Tesla. Now, the level that I would like to see hold, or at least try to get longs off of, is 198.87. That is this high right here. That is another level that when I zoom in short term, you are going to see held very nicely today. 198.87 is also, if we go to the daily chart, right, this is not just a short-term level. If we go to the daily chart, that is this high right here. the high of this daily candle right here, the high of this candle right there on the daily chart, that is April 29th. The high of that candle is 198.87 on the dot, okay? And so if we go to the 5-minute chart today, we can see that Tesla, in the short term, is trying, it looks like this morning, to hold above that high. And that is also the high from Thursday, and that is also the insanely sick long entry that we took on Friday. So if you guys are part of the group, you know we long Tesla right off 198.87. It was the perfect break and retest of Thursday's highs. Look how clean this was. Thursday's highs, look at that low that morning. That is perfection. That is a rejection into support. That is a break and retest of Thursday highs. That was a sick long entry on Tesla. Awesome, right? You can see right there, if we go to the 2-minute chart from Friday, look at how those candles showed up at the exact Thursday's highs right there, 198.87. Perfect. So what are we going to do today? We're going to look to see, can we get a pullback on Tesla? Can we get this thing down to 198.87? Can we see this level maintain? And can we find a long entry off this level? That is definitely something that I will be looking for today on Tesla. Can we get the pullback to that Friday low? Not low, but that morning low. Can we get a pullback to that Thursday high? And can we see buying step up at that level for another long entry? Definitely something I'm interested in. If we fail back below this 198.87 again, then we likely trade back down to the 194. The problem I have, and the reason I want pullbacks to long Tesla, is you are approaching the behemoth of a level. A behemoth of a level. And that is 205, 208. Right? This is no joke up here. This is the daily chart. This is no joke. Right? This is a no joke, no BS level up here. 205, 208. On top of that, on top of it being a daily rejection, it is also the 200 SMA. The 200 daily SMA is sitting right there, right? Just sort of suckering people in potentially to long into it and then giving you the smackdown, the WWE smackdown at 200 at the 200 SMA. So very concerning up here, right? I don't want to be too exposed to that rejection, right? Up at 205, 208 and that daily 200 SMA. That is a thick boy. That's something to be very cautious of above. If you want to be long Tesla, I would want to be long on days like this, right? If you sort of read Tesla on Friday and said, hey, yeah, Tesla's pulling back. I still have a bullish mindset as long as we're over 194. And I'm going to potentially look to take a little bit of an aggressive long with the stop loss under 194, right? I think that's going to continue to be the way that you want to trade Tesla long. Remember how we shorted Tesla? When we were shorting Tesla, we would want the pop and the fade, right? You guys are familiar with pop and fade, right? You guys are familiar with, okay, right, let's not short Tesla at the lows. Let's look for the pop and fade. So it's the same concept on the upside, guys, right? We want the drop and pop, right? We want to long the drops. We want to long at key demands on drops. We do not want to long Tesla on big pushes to the upside and expose ourselves to those fading moves, okay? That is the exact opposite of what we're going to want to be looking for our long entries. So for me, I want drops, right, to be exposed to Tesla longs. I want drops in the 198.87. I would even love a drop in the 194 again, right? If we can catch a long off 194, that would be great. We're longing off these demand lows that have established themselves. If we can get this today, get people to be uninterested in Tesla longs, right, sort of maintain this level into close, that could be a great risk-reward trade, right? So that's what we want. We're not looking to chase Tesla to the upside right into supply and get smacked down, right? So make sure to keep that mindset, in my opinion, on this upside on Tesla. I would look for opportunities after pullbacks. Make sure you understand where your levels are and see if they're holding. Nvidia, battling back today. But so here's what I wrote. I just want to sort of, I'll give you a little bit of insight. And I'm not going to do this often because this is something that people pay for. But a little bit of insight on Nvidia, man. Actually, I'm not going to say, I'll generalize what I told to the group today. You need to understand when a stock is in a little bit of a funk, right? And we know that Nvidia's in a funk. It's been plagued by some insider selling. It's been plagued by some very weak price action. We've definitely noticed something different on Nvidia, right? There's no doubt about it. we have noticed a different price action over the last 2 to 3 trading days. Call it a week, right? Everyone should know this. If you're not familiar with it, then do not even trade Nvidia, right? If you are not familiar with the weakness that's been going on, you have no business trading Nvidia. You need to be familiar with what we've seen lately on Nvidia, and that is just a very clear lack of continuation, a lack of strength, and just sort of a shitty intraday move. And it's been a lot of insider selling. You guys have seen that come out, right? Almost every day you're seeing, the CEO, some engineers, big people at the company sort of, getting rid of some equities. All part of the plan, right? That's not going to cause the stock to drop aggressively, but you can see intraday the heaviness that comes in because you just have you just see these big orders coming through, right? Keeping this thing sort of lower. So understand that, okay? Before you go in and start trading Nvidia, you have to understand that. That's something you have to pick up on and have to understand as you approach Nvidia. We have to see when that changes, but for now, that's very clearly the case. So a little bit of caution today, right? Coming into the day, you can very clearly see where we've been rejecting. We've seen the very clear 126.50 rejection highs, 1, 2, 3. Right? Very clear highs there. And we've had this hold at 123 maintain very strong. This morning, though, you saw this drop lower, right? And look at how this thing's trying to reclaim back above 123. So if we do see 123 maintain again today, that is an interesting potential long entry, right? There's no doubt about it. But how much can I expect? That's the problem, right? How much do I expect here? I would not try to expect much more than a pop towards this 126.50. If you really want to wait for Nvidia to get going, I think you're going to need to see a change in the characteristics of this move. A minimum for me would be to see a hold over 126.50. If you can get a hold over 126.50, then I have a little bit more faith that Nvidia can, come back to its senses, have strength again, maybe back into that 130. But for now, as long as it's under this 126.50, this feels like it's sort of a weight on Nvidia's shoulder. I'd be careful being too confident long on Nvidia under 126.50. It attempted to break above that on Friday. I was looking really good on my swing trade. I even entered new longs off 123 on Friday. If you guys are part of the group, you know that. We entered longs on Nvidia early morning on that 123 hold. Was looking fantastic here. Taking profits along the run. Wanted to hold some over the weekend, but then we saw that market flip, and that's where I just had to exit. And you saw us reclaim or move back below that 126.50, and look at that rejection to close the day. So it tried, right? It tried, but it failed again. And so I would be cautious of that characteristic. Make sure you understand that if you're long Nvidia. Make sure you know that the holds are not coming in. You could look for that 123 today. There's no doubt about it. For that, maybe next long into 126.50. But as of right now, guys, definitely not the strongest stock out there. So make sure you're aware of that. If you do see rejections under 123 today, that could be a very interesting rejection. That could be a very interesting rejection if we see fails under 123 today. Okay? AMD, once again, it tried. It tried, man. AMD tried. It tried to make that move over 163. I think a lot of people maybe chased it a little bit too aggressively here, and this thing failed all the way back down. So another failure to hold higher on AMD. You can see right here, we've tried to push higher over that 163 many times. We failed each time. On Friday, we got that squeeze above it up into these highs, right? Right into that 166.50 area, and that rejected once again. Bam, bam, bam. All right, so still not enough hold over 163 to make me that confident. I really want to see AMD get above this triple top high and really hold above it to close the day. Right? I want a day that closes above this level. I need a day that says, all right, I'm going to get above and I'm going to hold above to end the day. That's really what I want to see. Now, the only thing that's slightly interesting here, is you might be looking at something of a shift right here, right? Take a look at this. This is interesting. See this? And you see this? See this double top high right here at 161? Look at what's going on right here. So while we did reject that 166.50 and while we did get back below that 163, we are holding above the 161. We are holding above this high right here, this double top high. Take a look at how this reacted on Friday. See that hold? Right? And you see that daily 20 SMA keeping that price action higher? Slightly interesting, right? Slightly interesting. Something to pay attention to. Look to see if that 161 can hold strong. If it can, you might be doing a little, higher high, higher low here. So make sure you're aware of that, but you're still very clearly within this 2-point range between 163 and 161. TSM, it's been all right. Hasn't been great. It's sort of structuring higher, which is nice, but you're right in the center of a channel here, guys. So you need 176 or 173 today, or 172, sorry. So you're either looking for fades at 176, holds at 172. I would not trade this at the exact center of the channel. Look for one of these levels to get tested. Qualcomm, sort of interesting on the long side on Qualcomm. Here's why. Qualcomm has been an underperformer all of last week, fading to the downside after some weakness off that all-time high push. We talked about stopping the short side on Qualcomm, stopping the short side at the daily 50 SMA, right? And that was the 192.50, right? We had those previous lows, and you guys can see we had that daily 50 SMA. That is exactly where Qualcomm stopped moving lower and started to see some sort of squeeze back to the upside, probably some short covering, and that, buying off demand. Today, 200 is slightly interesting. If we get above 200, I would not be opposed to looking for longs over 200 back into that 210. That is something I'll definitely be interested in. We're coming off the 50 SMA. We're coming off that demand at 192.50. And if we get over that 200, that is slightly intriguing for a potential long entry if we can reclaim 200 with strength. So I'll be watching that today. I'll be looking to see if 200 either turns into support or if it just fades again, right? Going to watch both sides. But if we do reclaim back over that 200, that is something I will be watching to see if this maybe sets up a little bit of an inverse head and shoulder action, possibly back higher into that 210. That would be something I'm watching today. ARM failed, as everything else did, of course, on Friday. We're back into that 161 demand, and that's sort of a must hold. If ARM breaks under 161, I think that thing fades back down to 150, back down into that daily 20. So I would say watch 161 very clearly. Watch 161 very closely today on ARM. MU, really not much. MU's been pretty weak after earnings. Really has not gone anywhere. Yeah, it looks like it's this 130 level, right? It looks like it's this 130 level. You can see right here. 130 is sort of a must-hold in my eyes. You have previous highs right here at 130, and you're sitting right at them today. So I'd say watch that 130, watch that daily 50 SMA below. If we do not hold above 130, I'd say you're going to trade right here to that 121. So 130, big spot on MU today, but also just understand sort of that general weakness post-earnings. SMCI, interesting, very weak on Friday. Had to do with some of this Russell reshuffling. Chris, thanks for pointing that out on Friday. I don't know the exact details, but I think Chris, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, I'm not going to waste your time with it, but something along the lines of some reshuffling in the Russell, and obviously the SMCI is in the Russell, and it seems like that caused a little bit of weakness on Friday on SMCI. Hourly chart on SMCI, it looks like 800's the level right here. See this? Previous high here, 800, 800. That looks to be the level. As long as SMCI is over 800, I would be careful, of course, shorting the lows. Okay, we're not going to short into 800 lows. That's very clear. If you're shorted on Friday, great, right? If you shorted under the 880, that was the short, right? After we rejected the 100 SMA, after we rejected the 880, right? That was a beautiful short side move down into the demand lows. Now, the demand lows, you're not interested in shorting right into it. So SMCI, once again, could hold this 800 and then look to see if that maybe creates another opportunity off 800. If you break under 800 on SMCI, that's where I think you move into the 760. Okay? So 800 and 760 are the two levels below. If you hold 800, possible to see that sort of explosion move again like we've seen lately, back into that 880. If we break under 800, that could be where we move to 760. So I'd say I'm actually going to put an alert here. Create an alert. I'm going to go at or below 800, and I'm just going to make sure I know that if it breaks under 800, that could be a short side move into 760. Yeah, Apple, very interesting here. You guys can see Apple failed to make that hold over 215. We wanted to see that hold over 215. It did not. It failed right back below that rejection point. 215, 215. Look at that fade again under 215. Very clear. And what else is it under? Look at this 212, right? 212. Look at how that this morning is stuck under 212, right? Look at this. Apple, if Apple cannot get back over 212, that is concerning for further downside, right? 212 very clearly rejecting here. If we go back to the hourly chart, we can see under 212, you could very easily turn these highs back into rejections, and you could trade this thing lower, possibly once again towards that 208. So Apple, in my opinion, if it's under 212, is a weak move. If you stay under 212, I'd say the weakness stays in. So I'd look for potential sort of bear flag shorts off 212. That's something I'd be looking for. If you get above 212 and reclaim it, then this thing probably just sort of fades higher once again. But 212 looks like a very interesting level today. If Apple's weak and the market's weak, look for that fade possibly down into 208. Something I'll be sort of eyeing intraday. Microsoft, I would look for this rejection on Microsoft at 451. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Tried to hold above, tried to hold above, tried to hold above. It failed back below. If it pops back higher and rejects, that could be a great short entry. I would watch 451 for potential shorts on Microsoft. Interesting there. Amazon. So Amazon and Google will go over next. An interesting pullback on Amazon, right? Amazon has been a strong name, very clearly, right? It had major upside, pretty much straight upside. Nice pullback, needed a pullback. And look at where it came down to. It came right back into that 193. And it's holding, right? Very interesting. So now, what am I looking for? I'm looking to see if 195 holds on today. If 195 holds on today, if we hold above these lows and these highs, we could possibly look for longs off Amazon off 195 into that 197. So 195 is very interesting today. Keep an eye on that level on Amazon. If we see strength above that level, that could absolutely be a long entry towards that 197, above 197 into 200 again. Now, on the flip side, right, if we reject 195, you're going to trade back into 193. And if we break under 193, that is why this alert is here. You can see the alert on my charts. If you break under 193, then you are going to continue lower, all right? You are going to continue lower, all right? If you get under 193 here and you turn that into a rejection, you are going to start navigating through a straight up move here. And that could be a very interesting short side play. So 193 is a must hold on Amazon in the short term for the bullish action. If you break under that 193, you have very aggressive straight up moves here. That could be very interesting downside. So keep an eye on that 193. Keep an eye on that 195. Amazon's had a little bit of action in it lately. Could definitely be an interesting trade this week. Google, very similar chart on Google. You guys see right here. We have that straight up. We have that straight up. You have the hold right now at that 183.50. And you have that 182 demand down below. For now, you can see Google's trying to hold that 183.50. It's trying to hold above that low and trying to maintain higher. I would also be watching that 186 supply. If Google pushes higher, be careful of that rejection, right? Be careful of that rejection here, here, and here, right? Very clear rejection at 186, very possible. So be aware of that 186, and then, of course, be aware of that 183.50. For now, it's just in a channel. But I would look to both sides, right? I would look to both sides. I'm going to put an alert here, at or below. I'm going to put an alert here, create alert, at or above, right? And just sort of understand which side gets tested on Google first. Until there's a test, there's no trade, okay? Let's go to Coinbase real quick. I'm really not too fond of Coinbase here, but I will just let you know it is holding back above that 220 level, which is an important hold. And we did see, I think we saw a little bit of Bitcoin strength over the weekend. Let me go into it real quick, into the butt coin. Not really, actually. Not really. I mean, we saw a little pop that, overnight, but really not much on Buttcoin. Coinbase, I don't like it, man. I would stop trading Coinbase for the moment. It's just, this rejection was really the play. We were talking about that rejection back in June, early June, and that was really the trade. Now it needs to establish itself. Something needs to happen here. This is not anything that I am very trustworthy of. So I'm waiting for something to happen there. I don't like what's going on. Let's go to Netflix, and then let's go to Meta. And then we're getting the hell out of here. All right. Netflix, nice pullback, nice rejection of that 691. Very clear, right? Very nice supply highs up there. Nice fades and nice downside move. Today, you're watching this right here. You're watching that 674. You got to hold above it. You got to turn these previous highs right here into new lows. 674 is a must-hold level. If it fails under that, you could continue lower, back down into that 664. Must hold on Netflix at 674 today. If that fails, weakness. Meta, interesting 505 level. Meta has a very clear rejection. We talked about this rejection on the dot, guys. We talked about this level to the T on our Friday live stream. We said 523.57 was the exact highs of this 4-hour chart, and you can see how perfectly that level faded on Friday, right off that level. I mean, pretty much exactly there. So really nice fade on Meta there. Still an interesting chart, right? Even after the pullback, but you got to hold this 505. You got to hold this 505. You saw the 505 create upside. You have to continue to maintain 505. So if you can hold above 505, that's great for Meta. Be careful of these rejections at 511. That's very clear, right? Be careful of 511. If you want a long Meta, I would look for a reclaim of 511. That would be my long. A reclaim of 511 would be my long on Meta. And if you're going to short Meta, watch for a short under 505, but there is something to be cautious of. It is that daily 20 SMA. All right, so be aware of that daily 20 SMA. That is also right at that 499, 498 area that we've been sort of stalking as well. That's been holding pretty strong, right? So you guys remember that 498 level? That was sort of holding all last week, right here, right here. You can see that's where that daily 20 SMA is. So 505, 498, 511 on Meta. Keep an eye on those levels. Let's go quickly down to the market. So, guys, right now, all I can say is that the market is holding the demand lows. That's something very important to walk into the day and understand. But here's the problem, guys. You're right in the middle of the channel, okay? You're trading right in the middle of the channel to start the day. You gotta long or play. No matter what side you trade, guys, you gotta find trades off the important spots. You cannot get wrapped up in trading in this nonsense area. So if you're going to long, it should be off 19,900. If you're going to short, it should be under 19,900, right? Both sides. Whatever you want to do, I would want to trade at the key level. Same thing goes here. If you want to short, you look for a short at the 2085. If you want to long, you look for a hold over the 2085. All right, so I would not be involved right in the center of this channel. It's just going to do nothing but frustrate you, wick you up, right? Up, down, all around, get you pissed off, blow up your account when the market hasn't moved more than 1%, right? That's just something I would not want to be involved in. So if you want to long today, I would wait for a pullback into these demand lows to look to see if there's risk reward that sets up. If you want to short today, you wait for the pop and the fade up at that 55, 52, right? You do not start trading right in the center of this channel, blow up your account when the market's flat on the day, right? Please trade off the levels, and if they're not there, just walk away and stay patient, all right? That is especially important when you are trading in a sideways channel, all right? Especially important when you are trading sideways in the channel, all right? That's all I got. I hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. If you did, press that like button for me. We got to 1,000 likes. I appreciate that, guys. Subscribe to the channel for more. Help me get to 100,000 subs by the end of the year. We're definitely not on pace, but I'm going to keep the faith, man. I'm going to keep the faith. If you guys could, share the videos, share the live streams, let your friends know, your moms know, your sisters know especially, And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.
I think the girls with their nails done now.